Hi, guys. Good evening. Welcome back once again to the Ed Word. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I'll be discussing what I thought of Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 2, which dropped a couple of days ago on Netflix Christmas Day. Where's Ed been? How come you haven't been around covering this sooner, Eddie? Good questions. Well, I'll tell you. I, like many people, traveled for the holidays, and I was out of town for about 2 weeks, and I only got back very late last night. So I have been out of town, and I had to work today too, so I was busy running around taking care of business earlier today. So now I have a chance to sit down and tell you guys what I thought of Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 2, which is the three most recent episodes, with the exception of the fourth episode being the Stranger Things series finale, which has dropped already on Netflix, and I will be watching that and uploading my review of that later tonight after I've watched it, of course. But for now, I'm here to talk about what I thought of Volume 2 of Season 5. Now, if you're not caught up on Stranger Things by the most recent season, by either the Volume 1 of Season 5 or Volume 2, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing spoilers, plot details, character stuff, big juicy stuff, and all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, absolutely loved episode 6, which was Escape from Camazotz. Mostly because I love me the Demo Dogs. I love the Demo Dogs. I was so happy that Vecna chose to send them to go after Max's physical body, and it was everybody in the hospital coming together to protect her, including the super badass, the super awesome, and super beautiful Karen fucking Wheeler, man. She does not fuck around with those creatures from the Upside Down. She was a badass defending her daughter, and she was a badass protecting her son's friends from the Demo Dogs in the basement, which was awesome. Love that episode. Love that whole Demo Dogs sequence. I was so happy, so giddy when I saw the Demo Dogs return after all this time. Hopefully we see them again in the series finale, but only we'll find out later tonight. Overall, I was very pleased with these 3 episodes. I enjoyed it immensely. I was a little nervous going in because I avoided spoilers, but I did see that episode 7 had quite the low rating, and I thought, oh, that's too bad. My natural guess or assumption was maybe a couple of characters died, maybe just one character died, and people are review bombing it because of that. So I'm watching episode 7 from beginning to end, and by the end of it, I'm like, wow, that was great. And then, of course, it hits me why people are review bombing it. People have an issue with Will coming out as gay. Guys, grow the fuck up. Seriously. Gay people exist. It's fine. They don't have an agenda. There is no gay agenda. There is no woke agenda. They simply just exist. And it's okay for them to be represented in TV and cinema. And in this case, a very positive representation. And the thing that was significant about Will coming out to everybody in this episode was that this was his way, before going into battle, before dealing with Vecna, all of his vulnerabilities out in the open so Vecna can't use it against him in the coming battle in the series finale. But also just to tell everybody about who he really is, and how he's still the same old Will they all know and love. And it was so... Noah Schnapp gave such a moving, emotional performance that made you feel like you were really watching a gay person come out to their friends and family. And keep in mind, back then, this is supposed to be 1987. The 80s were not exactly friendly to the gay community. There's still, obviously, people still have a problem with gay people if they're review bombing this episode because Will came out as gay. So obviously gay people still have an uphill battle against him, but things are probably better now than they were, years ago back in the 80s, where it was you came under extreme scrutiny and judgment, and people, really unfortunately despised you, and there was a lot of prejudice because of, the whole AIDS epidemic, and just, people's attitude towards gay people in general were not very good back then. So for a character to come out in a 1980s setting to their friends and family was a significant moment. I watched these episodes with my family, not on Christmas Day, but a few days after Christmas. I watched it with my mom and brother. My mom had already seen it, but my brother and I hadn't. And we were talking about it afterwards, about what a great scene it was and how ridiculous it is that people are review bombing this episode, in fact, this whole volume, just because Will came out as gay. They've been hinting at it throughout the whole series run. They especially teased it in season 3, practically confirmed it in season 4, and now they've outright confirmed it in season 5. So what's the big deal? Were you expecting more action, more excitement, more monsters and whatnot? Okay, I could see where you'd be disappointed on that front, because besides the sequence of the demo dogs attacking the hospital trying to get at Max, there wasn't a whole lot of that. But you know what? I'm almost confident we're going to get a ton of that in the series finale. Hell, you guys have probably beaten me to it and already have seen the series finale and are hopefully satisfied with how the show ended and with any monster action, if we got any at all. I don't know, but I personally really enjoyed Volume 2 of Season 5. I loved everybody reuniting, coming together. You know, I gotta say, I don't really give a damn about who Nancy ends up with, whether it's Steve or Jonathan. I don't really give a shit. Not to take away from the great performances of the actors who plays Nancy and Jonathan. They were great in their intimate one-on-one scene together where he unproposes to her. That was pretty cool. That was kind of cute. But at the end of the day, there are other characters and other character relationships I care more about than who Nancy is with. So all due respect to those actors, but I kind of don't give a damn. Still an interesting scene, but, you know, it is what it is. I did, however, thoroughly enjoy Dustin's opening up to Steve about how he doesn't want to lose his best friend, and why he's been so cranky lately is because he doesn't want Steve to die because he just lost Eddie and he can't lose another basically older brother figure to him. And that was really sweet. That was really touching. You know, that actor playing Dustin gave a really heartfelt, gut punch emotional performance in that episode too. So overall, I really enjoyed these 3 episodes, especially episode 6 with the demo dogs. And then, of course, Max coming out of her coma, reuniting with Lucas and everybody for that fact. Another thing I really enjoyed about these episodes, and I don't remember which episode it was, but when Vecna is confronting Max and Holly in, is it the Upside Down or that other world? Well, wherever they are. And Will is able to possess Vecna, and Vecna kind of freaks out for a moment, like, what's this? What's going on? Why am I losing control? And then he speaks through Vecna to Max. Was awesome. And I loved how unsettled and unnerved Vecna became. Of course, he immediately went back to his stoic stance. It was like, you think you're a clever boy, or whatever he said to him. But it was nice seeing Vecna unnerved for once, and I hope we get to see a lot more of that in the series finale. Well, I better upload this review so I can get to watching the series finale, because I'm sure most of you have already seen it by now, and I need to hop on that train. So overall, I enjoyed Volume 2 of Volume 2 of Season 5 of Stranger Things. And guys, if you're review bombing something because you don't like gay people, honestly, grow the fuck up. You know, and you know what, maybe pop culture isn't for you, because pop culture is filled with gay characters and nobody has an issue with them. So why you're raising an issue with Will is frankly stupid and silly. Just something to think about. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed Volume 2 as much as I did. What did you think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on the matter. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and Happy New Year, however you may be celebrating, whether it's watching the series finale of Stranger Things or if you're out partying. Be safe and have fun out there tonight. I hope you all had a great 2025, and you will have an even better 2026. I'll see you guys in a few hours when I've uploaded my review for the series finale. But until then, may the Force be with you.